Hi folks, and welcome to Practising Programming in C, where we're going to be doing some multi-threaded stuff. So I'm just checking out OBS here, making sure that everything looks reasonable. Yeah, I'm kind of in the webcam, and the audio is probably coming through on the stream as well. Just centralise myself a little bit there if I can. Not that it is too important. That's what we'll have to do. So yeah, I'll just sort of I'll just recap what I did in the previous stream, or recap the motivation for what we're doing. Basically, all we're doing is we are taking a bunch of programs, and we're basically trying to put them all into a single program. So if we just go to here, and then what's the other one? It's this. So we've got these three programs here. We've got Cinera on the left hand side here. We've got a reference manager, kind of a program on over here, and this is sort of like the server part of it. And then down here we've got the interface to the reference manager. So you'll probably see, like as you move around, you'll see instructions coming through to the server. So it's telling it to kind of do whatever it's been told to do, basically. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. That's the point of all of this, is just to kind of get these three programs into a single program. And in the previous two streams, I sort of learned threading. So I learned how to create a thread. I'll just get to the program actually. I think it's in threading, yeah. So I learned how to create a thread. Yeah, I know how to do that. We had a look into the attributes that you can set as well. We learnt a few of them. We learnt about affinity. We learnt about threads that you cannot join to. So this detached state here, you can actually set this to, like, I think it's detached, isn't it? Yeah, you can set that to a detached, and then it doesn't actually it doesn't actually allow you to where is it, to join. This doesn't actually happen. So I think if I just run this now, I think what's going to happen is we'll see I think we'll see A and B sort of, well, I don't know, let's just have a look. So B is just happening. So clearly what we've got happening here is that B is setting a mutex. This is the thing that I did in the second stream on this process. This is, if I just go into, what is it going to be? Thread B stuff, probably. So we've got a mutex lock here. So we initialize the mutexes here. Oh, I think it's actually in thread A, isn't it? I think this thing tests a mutex, yeah. Okay, so this is doing on the condition, so that's going to be outside. Yeah, this condition here. So this the calling thread here is setting this conditional variable, or it's initializing it, and the idea is, if we look in the thread B stuff, at the end of it, it's going to set that condition, isn't it? Yeah. So here we go. This signals that condition that it's now true, and once it is true, that means that thread A can then proceed past this line here. So that's all that's going on there. And because we've said that we can't join, because we just set that detached thing, it means that it doesn't actually bother to wait for thread A to complete all of its stuff. So that's basically what we're seeing there. So if I just set that back to joinable, which is the default, we should now see B do its work, and then we should see A do all of its work as well, and we do. So that's kind of nice. And today what we're going to do is we're going to be mocking up that whole setup, the Cinera thing, the reference manager thing, and the kind of the user input accepting kind of interface thing. So I think we just start on that, don't we? So let's create a new thread. Let's create a new program rather. Threading mockup. And then we're going to need pthread, aren't we? Yeah, there's a thing. Okay, we'll just get some music on as well. I'm going to set aside 1 hour and 36 minutes for this. So we'll see where we are at that point, and then after this, I mean, if we finish on time, then I think I'll probably go on and do a like a little strategic stream, going through some strategies for solving. It's basically this. It's this puzzle game by Simon Tatham. I just sort of thought it'd be cool to kind of like, you know, do some strategies for solving these puzzles. So I'll, you know, stop the stream and, well, I'll keep the stream going, but I'll start a new recording for that. But yeah, if we don't finish on time, then that might not happen. So yeah, so we're going to need yeah, I suppose what I'll actually start by saying is well, I mean, I can do it in the same thing. So the basic structure we've got, so we've got 3 programs, right? We've got Cinera, we've got the reference manager, and we've got the what do you call it? It's kind of like the client, isn't it? It's like the user interface. So Cinera, what I'm going to say is, I'm just going to treat these as like in-out boxes, basically. So like, what does it take, and what does it output? So Cinera has as its input, not sure exactly how to sort of how to draw this. Just bear with me just while I sort of figure this out. Have we got anything here? Whoa. Yeah, what is going on here? Interesting. Not exactly sure what's happening there. And then we want one of these pieces. Let's just try that again. So I want to replace this with that. That's weird. So what I was pressing there was shift and insert, and usually that just inserts the thing that's in the clipboard. But for some reason it's not fancying it. Never mind. Okay, so we've got Cinera. I'll just pop this down as well. Okay, so we've got, these are our pieces of the puzzle. We've got Cinera, the reference menu, we've got user interface, and so the import to Cinera. Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's just center these. So the input is going to be, it's like file system events. So it's going to take file system events as its input. And as its output, it currently outputs all sorts of files. It outputs like HTML files. How much HTML, CSS? It outputs a Cinera database file. It outputs metadata file. I suppose this is like a DB, I think. Just double check. Yeah, I think it is just like yeah, .db. Doesn't really matter because I think you can just say whatever file name you want, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so it's taking in file system events and it's spitting out HTML, CSS, a database file and a metadata file. The reference manager, on the other hand, is going to be taking in like client instructions, basically. I mean, you can kind of see up here, received instructions. It's going to, receives various instructions. If I just run the program again, we've got these various types of instructions. And it outputs well, it's kind of like a database file, isn't it? Yeah, right. I suppose I should actually say how it. So it's client instructions from. It's currently from a socket. And the as I say, the output is whatever it is. It's a database, isn't it? I could just check that, couldn't I? Yeah, it's going to probably give me config. Here we go, db path. It's just restore delete. I mean, we can say that, can't we? So I'm pretty sure that's all it outputs. I mean, it does also outputs to the terminal as well. So it's outputting text, and it's also outputting back to the. It's like client response, isn't it? So yeah, let's say that. Yeah, let us say that. And this guy down here is going to be taking in user import. And it outputs server instructions. And it's also like the actual kind of like output. I mean, it's kind of like just the interface, isn't it? It's like UI. Is this correct? It takes in user input. And it's going to be outputting server instructions. And it outputs UI. Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, to some extent, all of them are actually printing out, aren't they? Because you sort of see them printing. But yeah, anyway, that's the basic structure that we've got currently. We've got, in this separate scenario, they're all kind of like just doing this. Oh. Ah, right. So maybe we could start by just doing a mock-up of these things that are separate. Yeah, I sort of think that could be okay. The only thing that's troubling me a little bit is just the outputting thing, outputting the text to the terminal, basically. Because you've got multiple people all kind of like outputting stuff. And really, it should just be the user interface person that outputs text to the terminal. But I think other than that, I think we can probably just start off by making them all separate things. And we don't need to actually think about coordinating threads. So let's go with that. So for file system events, I think we need it's iNotify, isn't it? No. Well, it does look like it's this. What's it actually saying? Is it saying that's not found? Oh, it's in sys. Okay. I think I'm going to do this IO control as well, by the way. Okay, so this is going to give us the founder system events. For reading and writing files, we've got standard I/O. For client instructions via socket, I think that's just socket.h, isn't it? And for user input, let's remember this client instructions. So that, yeah, this is just client responses by socket as well, actually. And then for the user input, as I say, I think, let me just double check actually. There is another program that I've done called rate. Is it still there? Is it term iOS? Might be that actually. Yeah, it does look like it's that. So basically all I want to do here is to make it sort of take he just sets the terminal to wrong here basically. So let's just include that. Okay, so LP thread interestingly was included here. I wonder why I included that there. I don't think I do any threading in this. I think that's probably me being a bit adventurous or optimistic, sort of thinking I was going to make this thing threaded, but I just never actually learned how to do the threading. I think that might have been all it was. I think standard lib actually as well for mallocking, we're going to need that. Probably want standard int as well. I think, yeah, say like certainly standard lib for mallocking, let's say. Okay. So, I mean, let's just call them Cineref reference manager and user interface. Okay, so it takes a thread, takes attributes, takes the start routine and the arguments. Okay. Well, I don't need to initialize them. Let's just make a bunch of pthread t's. So we've got Cinera, reference manager, and the user interface. Now, don't you need to initialize? Or don't you? I still feel like you do. Let me just... Attribute initialize. Yeah, no you don't, you just create. So, okay, that's fine. And we also want to join them all. So let's join some ret value. Okay. Also, let's just do this as null. Kind of prefer to do that. Let's just remember what that is. So that is the attributes, and then this is the parameters to the it's like this data thing. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. So you've got Cinera opening up, user interface opening up, and reference manager opening up. Interestingly, that time we got Cinera happening first, user interface second, and reference manager third, even though we sort of create reference manager second. It's kind of like the joys of threading, I guess. So the Cinera function is going to be basically looping on waiting for file system events. So let's give it a directory to loop over. Just on the off chance that we run it from a different directory. So let's see if I can remember how you do this. Probably going to have to look at the iNotify instructions. Okay, so you need to initialize an iNotify instance. On a watch. And there's iNotify watch, wasn't it? So it takes a file descriptor, path name, and a mask. Okay, so it's going to be the instance, the path name, and then a mask. I think it's going to be create, modify, and delete probably. Oh yeah, it's enclosed right, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, except for... Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Enclose right and in delete. Suppose an access to the directory take the file to all events. This shows some events that were generated for these two objects. So open, read, various buffer counts. It's something like this, isn't it? Oh, and also something like running, isn't it? You want to say whether the program's actually running or not. So let's just... a type difference. Now this buffer, let me just check what this is about. Attempts to read up to the count bytes from file description into the buffer starting at buff. So it attempts to read. So count the number of bytes. Let's just double check how we do it in Cinema actually. Yeah, so the bytes read is what we say. For events pointer. So a BID. So this is just our own internal sort of way to identify it. So we're just saying we want 4K of space for events. This is the start of the buffer. This is the size of the buffer. Okay. That's interesting, because what are we... I mean, the way that we've got it happening in Cinera is that this is going to be looping on a monitor file system function. So let's just do this. Let's do it in the same fashion. Well, that's not equal to arena full. So we don't really need that. Tokens list config path. Collation buffers and neighborhood. Tokens list, what's that supposed to be for? Directly, whatever. So I think we can probably safely say this. So while we're running, so what we had was, it was just 4K, wasn't it? I think that's right, isn't it? Shift it by 10. Oh yeah, it wants the identify instance. Yeah, and I think calloching is also necessary. Just double check how we do this. We could do that, couldn't we? Would that be sufficient? Yeah, I suppose we didn't have much handle set up, actually. Hopefully we won't quite need that. Well, I mean, if we do, it doesn't matter too much. In move, so we've got all these different types of watch channels we're watching, apparently. Well, let's see what we need. If bytes read yeah, I mean the thing is, all I was going to do was to print the watch handles, which we don't really have. What else can we do? Print event, we can do that, can't we? So here we go. The event pointer, events location, event size. So this identify events, this is just a thing that's going to be yeah, stuck at the start of the events. Yeah. Tell you what, let's just make a little function here. A type, rather. Well, it's less than the bytes read. I'm just totally copying the loop from the other program, but that's fine. We don't have a len yet, do we? Sorry, an event, rather. So that was an iNotify event. Yeah, I mean, let's just do that. Event index. So dig above event index. Where does that get initialized? Let's just initialize on there. Okay. Let's copy that down. I'll try to. Where did it get this from? iNotify event strings. Ah, okay. Yeah, we're probably going to need this actually. So what are we missing? Event index, yeah, of course. at the end of this, we're going to have to free the thing, aren't we, as well? That's interesting, isn't it? We're not getting the printing out because we're not actually getting down there. Alright, cool. So, yeah. I think we're okay. Let us just go to... Alright, awesome. So we've got some events coming through. Alright, this is working out alright. I suppose we could do the enclosed right as well, can't we? Yeah, we're sort of getting in deleting, creating close right events coming through. Yeah, so there is that kind of thing where you need to sort of squash this set of events on the same thing. But I don't need to bother too much about that at the moment. Yeah, okay, so we've got one of the components is doing its thing, isn't it? It's taking file system events. We're not outputting any files, which is fine. But I think that will do for now. Client instructions via socket. The reference manager wants to take client instructions via socket. So we need to start a socket, don't we, basically? Can I remember what you do here? Yeah, I'm not going to be able to remember, so let's get the reference store. And what we want to do is set up the socket. Socket pair, is that ours? Yes, it is ours. Oh yeah, binding and stuff. I mean, I suppose you could just copy this over, can't we? Yeah, I mean, the thing about the way I've got it going in ref stories is kind of, there's quite a lot to it. Yeah, this initialization of instructions. I don't know, maybe it's not too bad actually. Let's pull the whole thing down. Got incomplete type. Where am I here? This is the H file, isn't it? Let's have a quick look at that on actually, because I've completely forgotten what that's all about. Undefined, I don't know. There's not much to that, is there? Okay, yeah, copy string S. So what is this for? So config socket path. Oh, I've got a base and a length, so that is, what is that exactly? That's an actual string. well, let's just copy it. I mean, we can sort of have that, I guess, can't we? Well, no. Let's just say that everything is verbose. Print C. Yeah, the colours. Just grab it. Oh heck, going all over the place. So, okay, so we've got this initialized here. I guess we need this. And then probably these. And this. And that probably. That socket path, probably going to need that. And then I think, have we got the connection stuff? We might not. I mean, do we just need to take everything? There we are. I think we might have to just take everything. Yeah, I wish I'd have just actually pasted that correctly, copied it correctly. Yeah, I mean, I've got various types of copy strings actually. And the one that I've just pulled in is the one that wants a format string. So dest size and format. What does this guy actually... So it's going to mibstring.h. Is this actually using mibstring? Yeah. So they're saying that this restore socket path. Ah, hang on. I know why, because we don't actually have that initialized. Do we? Oh yeah, we do. It's not string literal, yeah, right. Interesting. Oh, it must be saying your own code. Ah, hang on. So, does that mean that we just need to set it? I think that probably is what it means. No, it doesn't like it. But it doesn't like the restore socket path in particular. Okay. So, VA list, this one's... Really, it wants... no. Standard arg. Yeah, we got standard IO. So who wants that, basically? Copy string wants this. standard arg. I mean, that looks a bit C++y to me. Well, okay. So there we go. We got past a couple of things. Yeah, I suppose it's that. So string length. We still didn't have this. What's this? It's below us. Ah, okay. So yeah, I think we want to take these guys, don't we? Let's take them wholesale. Interesting. Yeah. So I don't think we've got any of the handle functions. So yeah, let's just stick them here. Yeah, the clean action thing. The clean exit. Sig action. Signal.h. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of superfluous actually to the actual thing that we're trying to do here. So I'm inclined to say we don't bother with this. What is that? Mibstring.h already exists. I mean, really, we don't super need. I guess all it did actually was colorized, wasn't it? And it's a definition, isn't it? So it takes nothing, and all it does is it goes magenta is what I like to do it, and it does this. Relatively sure that's all we're talking about. Oh yeah, right, so it needs that, and then it needs the function name. So we don't have an assertion. Yeah, here we go. So we don't need all of these instructions for a start, so let's just say let's delete everything except for dump, I guess. Only because dump is sort of a really basic instruction. No. So it takes this socket info. They're all going to follow the same kind of pattern, by the way. All right, we're building. So we need to pick that socket path, didn't we? So let's just say the socket path is going to be how to get the there we go. Yeah. Let's give it just a threading socket. So let's just try running the program. I mean, it doesn't crash, which is kind of cool. Oops. Don't know what that does. Okay, so we're still getting our events coming through. I think at this point we actually need to do the the user interface function, don't we? Well, I suppose actually maybe we could do another function. Yeah, sorry, let's try threading mockup client. Okay. And all this is going to do is send a dump instruction to the person. So really we want to be looking at, yeah, I guess it would be that, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay, so establish connection. I think it's just that, isn't it? Yeah, so unfortunately, you know, after having done all that stuff in the other file, you know, the init instruction and stuff, like this is in here, isn't it? Yeah. Unfortunately, having done all of this, I actually need to pull a bunch of stuff into that H file. Yeah, the 4C stuff. I just have to just refresh my memory as to where stuff is actually. So yeah, RC is in here. I'm not bothered about the verbosity. The block 4 strings we probably will need at some point. So I guess we can just look through actually. So yeah, init connection we need from here. Oh, we need it in this file. 4cc we're going to need in here. Yeah, we're going to need that in here. The instruction response we're going to need in here. Okay. So yeah, we definitely needed instruction response, didn't we? And we definitely needed the RC and init connection. And that is establish a connection, yeah. I mean, we could take all this, can't we? Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like this instruction strings is also going to probably come in here, isn't it? Yeah. So let's just pull them all in. Yeah, you can see instruction strings is also there. This is center function, yeah. I'm pulling this in. What's this struct? That's just a string. Okay, great, we're building. So, threading mockup.h exists. And we have we don't have the handle, oh sorry, the ref store dump. We don't have that function. Cool. So handle dump, yeah, there we go. So I guess we can just sort of say received a dump instruction because we don't actually have anything to dump. Yeah, okay. So all that means now, I think, if we go to threading mockup client, we've included threading.age. And I think if we just set the ref store socket path is equal to the same thing. As this. U832, that's the standard int, isn't it? Yeah. So where have I got that from then? Well, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Didn't I bring copy string in? Oh, it's this again. It's not a string literal. So so this client, am I building this as Clang? Yeah. Right, the VA list was from it was standard arg, wasn't it? I mean, this was working on the other program. That still builds. Yeah. Conflicting types for that. So that's in mockup client.c. Do I need to just do it in here. Ah, interesting. Alright, so we're building. So we've got the socket and we've got the thing, so can we just now do this? We can do that. So we're running threading mockup, and if we just go to the threading mockup client, will we get the dump instruction coming through? Of course we won't. I mean, I suppose part of the problem, we probably haven't actually initialised the instructions, have we? Oh yeah, and this does also need to wait, doesn't it? Like, it's got to sit there, actually accepting instructions. Handle connections, yeah. Now this socket pair. Okay, so that's building. Doesn't like this. So print instructions. Did we call it instructions? We did call it instructions. Oh, this is a function that I just splotted out, isn't it? So what was wrong about that? fcgi.mibstring, no. So at least we're printing the instructions. So we've got to dump instructions, it's waiting for instruction, waiting for connection. But we're never actually receiving a connection, sadly. Now the time has gone, by the way. It's now 6 o'clock. The music's finished. We go for over an hour and a half. I'm just gonna have a quick look at this. See if I can solve it, and if I can't quickly, then I'll just go onto the Galaxy stream. So yeah. Threading mockup clients. Threading mockup clients. The restore socket path. So there's that happening. Could it be possible that I don't need to put the whole path in, maybe? The restore dump. Shouldn't really call it restore either, by the way, because it's... well, doesn't matter. I suppose just to make sure we can just make sure that everybody's sort of on the same page. So yeah, waiting for a connection, user interface function. I suppose, I mean, like here. Oh, it's an RC. Hang on. Oh, it keeps going back to that. Threading mockup. Restore dump. Oh yeah, we can see if we actually succeed in establishing the connection. So this should print out down there, shouldn't it? Okay, so we're not actually managing to establish a connection. So, and it goes down to silicon now. Yeah, not helpful. So establish connection. Interesting. You know what? It might be at this point worth actually just secretly debugging it. What's the problem there? Okay, so debug it. Press right for more. Don't know what that was about. So we actually removed that bit of information, didn't we? So we want to start trying to establish a connection. We want to try and initialize the connection. So we do have that, so we should pass this. So we pass the socket creation. Copy string to there, just check that it's in there. Yeah, it looks like it to me. Threading.socket. If we can connect socket descriptor. Oh, did we not initialize the socket or something? Yeah, error socket connection is probably the problem. Init socket into it. Init instructions, then init socket. I think it's that, isn't it? Bind. So you just need to make sure that I'm doing that. Yeah, so we have initialized the socket. Does that file exist? Ah, it's interesting, it doesn't exist. So that should exist, shouldn't it? Home Mac, GitLab Miblo practice threading.sockets. So yeah, that looks a bit suspicious, doesn't it? Let's now step through this, isn't it? Um, oh. Socket config socket. Oh, right. That's going to be what it is. If we don't set this, which is a bit of a bummer. So restore.c, it says a socket path from the config. But what was all that? Ah, hang on, yeah, that was it. The restore socket path is just for the H file, isn't it? And that's just what the clients use. Yeah. So the socket path for the actual server is a different kettle of fish. So where do we set this? Well, I mean, we're kind of setting it here, aren't we? But make an expanded path. Yeah, okay, so I think what we need to do is we just need to make a so this isn't sufficient. It's not this that we need to be setting. It's I mean, we could actually just use this, couldn't we? It keeps going to that FCGI thing, which is quite frustrating because it's an old thing. Don't have that open. Okay. So to make a string, let's just pull this in. I mean, I suppose we could include web string, but now that I've actually kind of copied a bunch of stuff in, it's just going to be a case of having to kind of delete it again. I'll probably put it in the H file, isn't it? What we're talking about, it's threading mockup. Really, we don't have string defined in here. I just need to write that functionality. So it's in threading mockup.c on line 386. Yeah. So it's taking a format, and that's all it should be taking. Of course it's a problem. So it needs to be this, I think. Oh, it's an implicit declaration of our account pointer. Gosh. Why did you do that? Now we've gone back to the FCGI thing again. Yeah, the arc count pointer. Do I just get this from like here? Yeah. Except for the fact that it's gone to here, FCGI mib.h. I mean, I quite clearly said go to mib and then mib.h, didn't I? But he's taking us here. Oh dear. Gosh, we have realloc in it. Okay, so finally we're kind of like building. So we've got mockup.h. Let's go to, I don't know what's going on down there. Quit Vim and come back into it. I've got this and client. Okay. So now let's just run this. I suppose, do we have this? We do have this now. So that should mean that if we just run this, do we get the dump instruction coming through? We do. Yay. That's cool. Received a dump instruction. Yeah, that's sweet. So, okay. So I think that's going to be it for now. We've got a couple of things going on here. We've got the person who's accepting. We've got this, we've got this cinema function, we've got the reference manager function, and we've got the user interface function. I think the user interface function isn't done, but the cinema function is currently accepting changes. So if we go to test and we just keep writing to something, you see the event come through. You can maybe make another test. Something more. Then you get sort of other stuff coming through. And we've got obviously the threading mockup client, which we're just looking at, weren't we? So that's like sending a dump instruction through. The next part of the puzzle is going to be doing the user interface function. Getting this to just take user input basically. But since we're out of time, I'm gonna call it there. And I kind of fancy doing the. I'm gonna do the Galaxies strategy stream. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to I'm gonna keep the stream live, but I'm going to like cycle the recording. So I'll end this one here. Stop the recording, and just give us a couple of minutes. Well, I'll just kind of go and freshen up, and then I'll be back on the same stream to do the strategic stream, the Galaxy strategy stream. And I've just realised that I forgot to actually set the title for this. So let me just before I do that, let me just set this. So this is like threaded system mockup. So that's going to remind me that's the title of that is going to be this. And now I'm going to go to the be right back screen, and then and then I'm going to also cycle the recording, and then I will be right back. So thanks very much for watching, and see you in a couple of minutes. Farewell for now.